I know I haven't been back on. I made my little intro video, but I've had a pretty rough week. As I said in that video, I wanted to bring awareness to CRPS at some point. So I figured there's no better time to talk about them right now because I'm having a really rough time. For those that don't know, CRPS, or complex regional pain syndrome, is a neurological disorder. It is basically where your central or peripheral nervous system is damaged or malfunctions, and it pretty much causes pain that is I'm not able to put into words to describe what the pain is like. The best way I can describe it is a very bad burning or a deep bone pain where it feels like somebody is jackhammering your bones. There's no cure for this disease. It is one that we do desperately need awareness brought to. It is an invisible-ish. People refer to it as the invisible disease, but there is a lot of physical attributes to it as well. There's a lot of swelling in your extremities. There's a lot of skin changes, skin color changes, temperature changes. My leg might be somewhat normal colored 1 minute, and then the next minute is bright purple, or it's just really gross. Also, your toenails seem to want to fall off. They're affected very bad by it. The sensitivity to touch, just being able to shave my legs sometimes will cause me such bad pain that I just can't even do it. I don't know, it's just a very complex disease. It's one that medical science doctors often misdiagnose, or they don't diagnose at all because they don't know what it is. It took them 9 years to figure out what was wrong with me. I went to every kind of doctor you could possibly think of. I went to cardiologist, I went to neurologist, pain management doctors, and even though they could see that there was something wrong with my leg, they could feel how cold it was or how hot it was depending on the day in comparison to the other leg or the other hand compared to the other. They could see it, they just couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I've had so many ultrasounds because, of course, the first thing that they think, and I mean, it's a good thing that they rule this out, but the first thing they think is that I have a blood clot. But I am on a lot of medication, so if I ever act scatterbrained, they're in part to blame for that. I take a lot of neurological medicines, not just pain medicine, but neurological medicines that really mess with you. I've gained so much weight because of them. So I'm not a skinny girl. I know that. But having my leg the way it is, it makes it extremely, very difficult to exercise. I mean, I can't walk properly, so I walk with a permanent limp because the joint of my knee is frozen. Excuse me. It's just really bad. There have been people who this disease it has made them kill themselves. The disease is called, or known as, the suicide disease, because a lot of times people can't handle the pain. I'm sorry, but I think, I'm sorry, I think what's really hard for me sometimes is I'm only, I say only, but I'm only 40 years old. And sometimes I feel like I'm such a burden on my family and my husband, and my kids have to help me a lot. And I know most people look at me, they think, she looks great, she can't be sick. Not great as in I'm pretty or anything like that, but yeah, I look healthy. But they have no idea. I am very thankful for my husband, and I have a whole story to tell about him and how we met and things like that, but other things I can eventually want to bring awareness to and talk about sexual abuse and physical abuse and domestic violence and things like that. Um, but yeah, back to CRPS. Excuse me while I get a napkin. Just feel like I'm running snot. But back to CRPS. Back in 2006 is whenever I started. Many people don't know this about me, but I used to be in law enforcement. But I came home from my shift one night or one morning, so I worked night shift and took my boot off, and my leg was just hurting so bad, and my foot was hurting so bad, and I didn't know I had been in a struggle earlier that night trying to take down a female, and I ended up popping my knee, and I didn't think anything about it, and ankle, but and it had pretty much stopped hurting, so that really, I wasn't thinking about it. Well, when I came home and I took my boot off, my entire foot was purple, and I was confused because I didn't know what was going on, so I had called my doctor and she told me to come on in. And she sent me for an ultrasound because, again, she thought it was a blood clot, and it wasn't. Sorry. And, so she sent me, when those tests came back normal, she sent me to the cardiologist and the neurologist and things like that, and I've had arterial studies done. I've pretty much had it, you name it, I've had it done. So, from that point, I couldn't do my job anymore. Got to the point where I couldn't even put weight on my leg at all. I couldn't let my foot touch the ground because even just brushing the floor or ground would kill me. I couldn't put shoes on. To this day, I still can't wear a normal pair of shoes. I wear Velcro topped sport sandals, Nike sandals, because that's all I can wear year round. But it's really hard. It's really hard. But I guess I do want to say too, if you see somebody who's different, or somebody who is wearing something that you think, why is she wearing that? I've had somebody, I ain't gonna say somebody, because I've had so many people say this to me. You do realize it's winter, right? And you've got sandals on? And I just want to be like, really? Do you really think that I don't realize it's winter? But there's also times where sometimes I'm just a very stubborn person, and I want to push myself as much as I can. I don't want to have to go into a wheelchair before I have to go into a wheelchair. So I push myself to walk, even if I walk with a limp. But there's some days when I just can't do it, and I just have to use a chair or use a cart because I can't deal with it. But just because you see somebody who you think looks perfectly fine on the outside, because you don't know that person, you can't sit there and assume that the only reason the person's riding a car is because they're overweight or they're fat or they're lazy. I've had all those things said to me. I had one woman announce in front of the store once, I got a cart because I was in so much pain. And she announced that you realize that those carts are for people with disabilities and they're not just for fat people. And like I said, I know I've gained a lot of weight, and I know I've tried really hard and still try to lose the weight that I've gained, but when you are still taking the medications and the steroids and everything, it's kind of difficult. I'm sorry, I want to make this video and start crying. But this disease is no joke. You desperately need awareness brought to it. Until they can figure out the why, the how, and the what that causes this disease, they'll never be able to figure out how to treat it. Right now, the chances of remission for me is 0. There's a higher chance of remission for someone who has had this disease or develops this disease and they find out about it within the first year. Their chances of remission is higher. But because it took them so long to find out what was wrong with me, I've had all the treatments. I've had ketamine infusions. I take ketamine tablets, which is, if you know what ketamine is, you know it's no joke. It makes you hallucinate and it just totally messes with your brain. But anyway, I don't want to keep you guys. This is a rather long video, but I just wanted to let you know where I've been, and I do want to make future videos. And I figured YouTube, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube, but I want to use YouTube to bring awareness to things that need awareness brought to. There's so many things that I can talk about that have affected my life personally. So anyway, I do love you guys, and thanks for letting me cry, and thanks for listening to me. But yeah, November rolls around and I'm still here, and we'll talk more about CRPS, November CRPS month. But anyway, guys, I love you all, and you have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Until next time, be blessed.